And so they trudged up into the forest. Well, they were looking for bearded clam under every rock and leaf. They looked in the trees, they looked in caves, they looked down holes, and they looked over under rocks. They looked everywhere for bearded clam. But there in a clearing, they found... You're not helping me! They found crickets. They found crickets, all rubbing their hind legs together. And something about them crickets rubbing their hind legs together got the Scotsman all horny. They were used to smaller animals rubbing their hind legs together in front of them. And it made them all crazy, and they jumped on the men and started trying to do them with their enormous wood. The men used their special ability to blow wood apart. And soon it was stacked like cordwood. I guess they blew all the Scotsman's wood off. Well, the Scotsmen were there weeping on the ground. And the captain was seeping a little. Although he secretly found it amusing. And he says, well, you Scotsmen, I kind of saw that coming. You didn't know that the men had a special ability that could blow wood apart. And so, he says, the Scotsman said, well, we think we'll be all right if you could only...
Find some glue.
Find some glue. And he says, all right, you wait here. We're going to go find the bearded clam and we'll bring you back some glue. What? And so off they went into the forest. Well, soon they saw a small village. Well, as they were approaching the village, they saw the village was populated by...
Wiener dogs!
Wiener dogs! Of course it was. It was populated by wiener dogs.
So much for France.
Well, they went on to this village of wiener dogs, and Captain Chlamydia says, ahoy there, you wiener dogs, we're looking for bearded clams. And the wiener dog said...
All we got is pitchforks.
Said what?
All we got is pitchforks.
All we got is pitchforks. And they chased the pirates with the pitchforks, stabbing them in the butts, which also made them fart and blow the pitchforks apart. The wiener dogs became panicked and ran in all directions, and the men became panicked and ran in all directions, and the captain became panicked and seeped a lot. And he slipped on his own seepage and fell down an embankment into a cave. Because France is full of caves. Well, it is. And down in the cave is where he found
the Great Divide.
The Great Divide. And he says he found the Great Divide. It was down in there, and he recognized it as the Great Divide. And he says, "Oh, Great Divide, we're here in France. We've been beset upon by Scotsmen with inflatable sheep and enormous wood. We've also been beset upon by wiener dogs. We've had a hard time. And we're just here looking for bearded clam." Well, the Great Divide said,
I can make you flaccid.
I can make you flaccid, which I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. And the captain says, will it help me find bearded clams? And the Great Divide said,
Yes! Yes!
yes. And so he says, lay it on me. And the Great Divide made him flaccid. And with that, his seepage stopped. It's a miracle, he said. And out of the Great Divide came prancing bearded clam. All sorts of bearded clam. And he says, oh, bearded clam, will you come back to the Brown Eye with me? And go sail in the 7 seas with my farting crew and my seeping self? And the bearded clam said, sure. Sure. Because the bearded clam was pretty agreeable after all. And so the captain became not flaccid again. He started seeping up a storm. And they marched their way out of the village and back to the Scotsman. He said, Scotsman, You may not believe this, but my seepage is the finest glue in 7 lands. So if you use my seepage, you can glue your enormous wood back on. I can't believe I'm saying this. And so they glued their wood back on, and they went back to the ship, and they knew better ever than to ever try and jump on the crew again. And they sailed the 7 seas with the Scotsmen waving their wood around. And the captain seeping, and the bearded clam all there with them too, and the crew farting them across the ocean. And they had a lovely time. Now, the moral of the story is... Oh, wait. No. The story's not over. The story's not over because when they got back, they found that the Great Divide had blinked itself. The Great Divide had blinked itself and left them a gift on board the ship everywhere, hidden like Easter eggs, were rubber dicks.
Yay!
You thought I forgot, and so did I. But there was rubber dicks all over the ship, and the men found them like Easter eggs, and the Scotsmen were very pleased that they had a spare. And they took along the inflatable sheep as a flotation devices in case the ship sank.
Right.
And the brown eye sails on. To this day, some say on a clear night, you can still hear them singing and poking. And seeping and farting. Now the moral of the story is, and I think the moral of the story, I said the moral before the story started, it's rubber dicky, you're so fun, you make bath time lots of fun.